Okay, here we go.
Okay.
My name is ELIO. I am a kind of singer-songwriter, I guess, but I make pop music that kind of leans into different genres. Yeah, I started releasing music in 2020, just when lockdown started. Yeah, I've done 2 EPs since. It's been really fun. I've never played a live show. Um,
Whoa.
and yeah, just been spending the year writing pop music and releasing it. It's been really fun.
So before 2020, before you released anything, why were you holding off? Because you had been writing for a really long time.
I mean, I really wanted to have like my team together and stuff before I started releasing, and like that was really important to me. Just so I didn't like fuck anything up.
Yeah.
Not to swear.
So much swearing. Let's go back. Where are you from? Well, I know where you're from. People don't know where you're from. So you can say.
I was born in the UK, so I was born in Wales. And then my family moved to Canada, moved to Toronto when I was like 7 or 8. And yeah, been here ever since.
What's your opinion on the music scene in Toronto?
It's good. I mean, like there's so many talented artists, especially within the last few years that have come up from Toronto, or Canada, or like,
Yeah.
generally just around the community of people that like I know I have here, is really nice.
Do you love it there?
Yeah. I mean, the winter just finished, so now I'm starting to like appreciate it a little more.
Yeah.
During like October to March, I'm kind of like hate I hate this weather. But there's honestly there's not much better than like Canada in the summer. There's so much to do, and yeah, it's so much fun.
Are you like still not used to the cold? Even from living there? Like, is it still shocking? Because that's how New Yorkers act. Every winter is like the first, and like, we don't deserve this, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like it's always exciting when it comes like kind of November, December, and you're like, oh, so Christmassy. I'm so happy I live here. And then like January rolls around and you're like, all right, cut the bullshit.
You are really one of the few people that like popped off in 2020.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's the first year that I started releasing music, so um yeah, I mean, I'm glad despite the circumstances,
Yeah,
um, that it happened. It's a super weird feeling because I like obviously haven't left my house really that much.
right.
But my career has grown like exponentially.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's a weird feeling.
I saw that you were in a band in high school.
Hmm.
She said, I wish the so sorry, cat's out of the bag. You were in a band in high school. When were you like into being in a band, or were you like, but I want to be a solo artist, like I want to be a pop star, you know?
Uh-huh. I think for the majority of it, I was very into being in a band. All the artists I listened to were like Radiohead, and
Yeah,
I mean, Tame Impala is a solo artist, but he obviously has his band, and yeah, no, I thought it was sick.
yeah,
Um, and then I kind of started listening to more pop music once I graduated, and started university and stuff, and yeah, I just like wasn't writing. I mean, I wasn't writing the music that the other guys in the band really wanted to play, and that's like not really fair to them. But yeah, I just like, shit grows, people grow, and yeah, I really just wanted to write pop songs.
yeah. So when you went to college, what did you go to college for?
I went for art history.
Oh, why?
I really liked, so I started off with like art and art history, so it was painting and sculpture and stuff. And then also like Renaissance art history. I've always liked it. Um, art art and English were pretty much the only two classes in high school that I liked or did well in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I just don't think I could have done it for the rest of my life.
How were your parents or guardians like when you were like, I'm gonna definitely get a drop out of college to be a pop star? Hope you're cool with that. Like, what did they
They
say?
fucking hated it. They hated
Really?
it. Yeah.
That's the answer I'm looking for. Because everyone's like, yeah, I mean, I've interviewed a bunch of people who have dropped out of college, and they're like, yeah, my parents were really chill. And I'm like,
Uh,
where are they?
I mean, I think they definitely understood to an extent. I think they were more worried for the fact that I literally just told them I wanted to make pop music and
Yeah,
be a pop artist instead of having like a real job. And honestly, I mean, I get it. Like they were like a little like confused and like skeptical, I think, until probably this year. Like
right, right.
um so yeah, no, they were definitely nervous, especially my mom.
Really.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think I would be too. I think anybody would be if your kid who knows nothing about the music industry just sat you down and said, "Yeah, I'm dropping out, and also I'm dropping out to do music."
Yeah. What gave you the courage to drop out?
I don't know. I mean, like, I finished my third year. I
Okay.
think it was yeah, my third year.
Damn, you
Um,
close.
I know.
Real close.
I just like the place that me and my roommate, who was also going to school where I was like getting renewed, and she was like, "Are you coming back? Like, do I need to find a new roommate?" And it was like this whole thing of like, do I really want to come back? I think I just like had a moment of like, am I actually happy writing art history essays?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like at the time I was like what, like 20, 21. And like unfortunately there's kind of a an age where you can start making pop music and start um playing live shows and releasing music and doing this whole thing, and like that age has an expiry date, especially for women.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, like, you know what, by the time I graduate I'm going to be 22, 23. And then if I start then, like, nothing's probably going to happen until I'm like 25, 26. And at
Yeah.
that point, then what, you have like 4 more years of making music and that's it.
I mean, it's very much a thing also just specifically in pop. Like I feel like with indie and
Yeah,
alternative, like Arcade Fire, no one knows how fucking old they are, but they will still sell out
totally.
tours and like same with St. Vincent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but with pop specifically, it's like I think more industry standard rather than people standard is like, well, why
Mm-hmm.
are we going to take a gamble on you? What have you been doing this whole time? Which is
Right.
terrifying because it's like, what I've been doing this whole time, I've been living my life, so I have something to fucking write
I
about.
think there's also like a fear of being relevant, like how, I mean, in terms of pop music, like I feel like the main demographic is probably teenage girls or young girls. And so I think like when you're I mean, these days you can release anything, and if people like it, people will listen to it. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah,
And I think that's really amazing. But I think for the most part, in terms of like historically speaking, like if you're a 30-year-old woman, chances are you don't know what a 15-year-old girl is really going through,
yeah,
or anything that's relevant to them. Like I'm 23 and I like go on TikTok and like I know what's happening. I'm like
yeah,
Gen Z, technically I'm Gen Z, but
yeah.
like do I know the mind of a 15-year-old girl? Absolutely not.
But I also think relevancy is a scary topic because what does it mean to be like irrelevant? When there's so
Mhm.
much music, like, are you really irrelevant or are you targeting yourself to the wrong demographic? You're like, you're
Totally.
relevant to someone.
Totally.
I mean, we're speaking in mainstream terms, so it's like it's different. Like, yeah, that relevancy is really important, but I think music right now is super inspiring. It feels like so there's room for everyone.
Yeah, and it's definitely changing, and like it's not so much like people getting picked to be pushed to radio, like radio is pretty much made up of songs that pop off on TikTok and Spotify.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's amazing. I think it's great that you can literally put out songs from your bedroom and they can go viral and you can end up on the radio. I think it's so sick.
Yeah.
And it really allows like a more diverse and I think even like stronger like set of what music is, because you look at top 40 and it's so many different genres now. Like
Yeah.
it's not just, it may be like pop music in a sense, but it's so all over the place in terms of like what it sounds like.
Yeah. And in general, it's like weirdly much easier to get famous. Also, the word famous is like, it's like, what does that mean? Like in
Yeah.
1985, it was like, if you're not on the radio, like, good luck, buddy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no other way to really get found besides radio and live shows. And now it's like, well, someone could have 90K streams with no editorial help because they
Mm-hmm.
have developed their own live fan base, or like TikTok famous. Like, it's weirdly so
Totally.
much easier to get famous, but there are few people who are like famous.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
It's very, I mean, like, there's definitely still household names, but like you can literally be, like if you think about like Love, who I think probably has like what, like 20 million monthly listeners on Spotify. You could walk in any house on my street and go, "Hey, do you know who Love is?" And they'd probably say no.
Yeah.
But like he's not a household name, but he is so successful and famous.
How did you just start pitching yourself? Like, groundbreaking
Um,
idea, I'm gonna be a pop star.
I think I mean, I worked a little bit, so I worked part-time for a little bit, just kind of saving up money to like travel and go to LA and go to the UK and stuff to meet people. Um, and yeah, when I was going, so my first trip was to the UK, and when I was heading there, I basically just emailed a bunch of people that I really looked up to in the music industry. Like I would look at artists and then I would literally Google search who their managers were and like find their emails and email like 100 people a day and
Wow.
like two people would reply.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for me. I just made like, I had my demos and I made like a little SoundCloud like private playlist of the songs that I think I wanted for the
Yeah.
EP. And yeah, just asked if I could like meet them when I was going out, and yeah, I mean, it worked. I think it definitely wasn't like a overnight, like I met my managers on the first trip kind of thing. Like I went to the UK and kind of met a couple people and went to LA. It was definitely like I met this person who knew this person who knew this person.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you meet Charlie?
so Charlie is part of my management team. So my two other managers, Twiggy and Sam. I met Twiggy in July of 2019. And then Charlie came and actually no, I was in New York in September and I met Charlie. She was doing press for her record at the time, Charlie. Um, and yeah, we basically just talked. We didn't even, I didn't sign anything until the January 2020. So it was just a while of just kind of getting to know each other and making sure we had like the same expectations and all of that stuff, which I think is really important. And yeah, she came to Toronto, she played a show, and then we went out for drinks and stuff. She met a couple of my friends, and yeah, that's it. The rest is history.
Yeah. How was that? That seems like a big jump to be like co-managed by Charlie, especially in the pop world. I mean, she's pop royalty. Like, she fucking changed.
Absolutely.
How was that for you? Were you like, good thing I dropped out of school, like this is so exciting, or were you just like trying to breathe the whole time and take it in later?
I think I was definitely very excited, and when I met her in New York, I was like shitting myself. But I think a really important part, especially in the music industry, is not taking things too um, um, just like kind of setting an expectation of how it's going to go. And I think like at the time I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm even like, meeting Charlie and like she likes my music. Like that alone is just so crazy to me. So I think like beyond that, I was just, not really trying to not get my hopes up and all that stuff, because it's such a roller coaster. Like it's
Yeah.
every week there's gonna be something, and then it goes all over the place. So I think just maintaining that level of consistent expectations is really important.
I think that's a really good frame of mind, because people get really excited over everything. And like, even for people, you hear about deals and stuff like that just not working out for people because it's not their time and something else is coming, and
Hmm.
like, it's very important to remember that everything's temporary.
I don't really celebrate anything until it's like signed in front of me and happening or released into the world or anything. Like I don't, it's all really amazing and like I can obviously appreciate it, but um yeah, I don't really like, I try not to freak out and put my whole energy into something unless it's like a sure thing.
Yeah. Wait, can I guess your sign?
Yeah.
I I'm getting a lot of Taurus energy, but it might be because you remind me of my sister, so that's why. Um, my sister's also your age. Um, Either a Taurus, a Virgo, but also there's such like Gemini energy. All wrong.
I'm a Virgo. That's so weird. My
You're
mom's a
Virgo?
Gemini. I'm a Virgo. My mom's a Gemini and my dad's a Pisces.
I got the Virgo energy because you're very like collected and trying to be a realist while working hard.
I'm probably like textbook Virgo.
How did this the remix with Charlie, like homies, that's your homie, so of course that came about, like, but how did the remix with Adam come out? Which I love Adam. I've interviewed him before and it was like so lovely. What a lovely human.
He's honestly, I someone needs to get that boy like a talk show. He
Absolutely.
is so he needs to be like the next Jimmy Fallon or something.
Yeah.
He's such a good conversationalist.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I met Adam the first trip that I went to in LA. My friend Andy knew him and then knew the guy that was opening for him. And yeah, we went to his show in LA and we met him afterwards. And this was before I had any music out. It was like a whole year before that. And yeah, we met and he was so nice. He was like the nicest person ever because at that point I was like a complete stranger who
Yeah.
didn't even
Yeah.
have music out in the world. He was really cool and I got super addicted to his music. He has such a sound. When I thought about who should do the remix for that song, I like pretty much instantly thought about Adam. I knew he would kill it. So it wasn't even, yeah, it wasn't even a question. And yeah, we asked him and thankfully he said yes. Which I honestly didn't. There's been so many moments with this remix EP where I'm like, they said yeah.
Really?
Um, so yeah, that's how it kind of happened. We've only seen each other the one time in person, which is really crazy.
Wow. So how was it were you just like, here is my song, or were you like doing it together a little bit?
The remixes, I've just basically given them the stems of the song and said like, go make it your own. This is not my
Oh,
song anymore.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's really sick because like obviously if I'm asking them, I love their music. So I feel like I don't really need to guide anything that they're doing. Um, which is it's really nice. And it's really cool to get your own song that you've written back and have it like sound completely different.
So with the second EP, how I love it because one, it's good. Two, it's objectively really good songwriting. And three, it's quite concise, I think. I don't know if you feel that because your life. So it's like, no, it's just me. But like
Right.
to me, it's like I feel like I understood where you were coming from in every song.
Mhm.
Um, if you had to like really describe the world that you wrote that EP in, like what would it be?
I think for that EP, it was kind of, I don't know, I think within the last like 2 years, I've done like the most growing that I've probably ever done in my life. Um, in every sense, like in my personal life, my mental health, and my career, like the whole thing just kind of grew. And so, yeah, I think when I was writing that, like, um, I was kind of just in a headspace of learning to be a better person and to, um, kind of work on my career and my relationships and how it all works together. Because like I'm kind of in like this job where like my career is so entwined with my personal life. Like there's almost no line.
Yeah.
Um, and so being able to kind of have like that healthy relationship is really hard. So I feel like, yeah, the whole EP kind of has like um, just just the last couple of years of yeah, just trying to do better and grow and anything that I think 20 something people go through, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think your situation is a little more unique than most 20 somethings, you know.
Right, but I think like most people who are like in their 20s are working so hard because that's when you really like have to put in your hustle, whether it's like a 9 to 5 job or being an artist. And so you're also starting, like possible like relationships that are going to last you your whole life. And so I think like no matter, I mean, my situation is obviously a little weird, but
Yeah.
I think no matter what, like there's definitely still like a spectrum of people learning and growing and trying to work everything together.
What's your favorite song on that EP?
Maybe in real life or when you saw love, I don't know. With Charger, like shooting the music video and finishing the song and all of that, I got to a point where I was like, if I hear this song one more time. But then like you stop listening to it and you listen to it like 5 months down the line and you're like, oh wait, I kind of like
Banger.
this. Now, just because of the Adam remix in real life is in my favorites for sure.
So good. It's so good. Like the melody is just, it's like perfect pop. Like it is just so good. You could really tell. I'm just gonna boast about you right now. You can really tell when you listen to your music that you've been taking fucking notes. There's so much like historical knowledge in your music. When I listen to it, I'm like, okay, she's taking notes from all the great pop music, and also like I think it like helps that you are older because when you were in high school, and I know this because my sister's your age, when you were in high school, pop music was so good. There were so many good teen movies as well, which made pop
Totally.
music really good. I mean, like,
Hmm.
I'm just off the top of my head, I'm thinking like The Bling Ring, Palo Alto, all great soundtracks, fantastic teen movies. Um,
Yeah.
and like, we don't watch as many teen movies, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I definitely, I'm glad you see that.
Yeah. Let's talk about your artist name and how you picked Elio. I know it's from Call Me by Your Name, which is
Yeah.
also one of my favorite movies and books. Um, how did you make the jump to do that though?
So I went on like this summer trip in 2017. And it was like a school thing with my university, where you like studied abroad for, I think it was like 2 months I was there. And I went to Siena in Italy and we kind of traveled around. So we went to Florence and Venice and Mantova and stuff like that. Um, and I got back and yeah, it was like, I think it was maybe just before the Oscars or something, or maybe like me and my roommate, I think we're trying to watch all the like Oscar nominated films. Um, which I'm pretty sure I just did the one and then I didn't do the rest. Because this is me. And yeah, it was like right when I was like, this is like my third year of university. So this is when I was like spending most of my time just writing songs and not really focusing on school. And I was like thinking about like what I should call my artist project. And the band that I had in high school, I had a super fucking complicated name. So I wanted something like simple, something.
What was the name?
It was it was gray water with 2 backslashes in the middle.
Hmm.
So like in the middle of gray and water, it had 2
Oh,
backslashes,
there.
which is just so like why would I do that to myself?
Yeah, it's
So
very
I think
like you wore like were you guys super into like triangles too? Like that was a whole thing. Like where everyone just wore triangles and everything, like and the slap
yeah,
like the neighborhood and stuff like that.
so yep, exactly.
Hey, your Tumblr page was
And
awesome.
it was.
I'm sure. No doubt.
Yeah, so when I was like going to pick a name for this, I think I wanted it to be something that was like 4 letters, simple, looked good on
Okay.
everything. And yeah, I mean like I'm like only like low key in love with Timothy Chalamet, so I felt like
It's
um
only low key, but
it
you
was
did
native.
say it on a podcast in case he heard it. You
No,
never
I
know.
never. No, I threw in the low key just in case he hears it. Because like honestly, my worst nightmare is meeting
Really?
Timothy Chalamet and being like,
Wait, that's such a good quote out of context. Honestly, my worst nightmare is meeting Timothy
he's gonna
Chalamet.
misquote me now.
No. Yeah, it's also my worst nightmare. Kidding. I just don't know what I would do.
Well, it's just like, how do you explain to someone who is like quite clearly has everybody's heart
Hmm.
from the ages of like 15 to like 55?
Yeah.
Um, and like you've taken a name from their most iconic movie
Yeah.
and you've based your entire career around that name. It's just the explaining I would have to do is monumental, and I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah. I feel like you would just say a lot of like words that like wouldn't form a real sentence.
Absolutely.
Uh yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna meet him. Like I'm sure like because you put it out in the universe, like you are gonna definitely meet him and have to explain it. Um
Absolutely.
or you could just lie. That's always a good option and just be like, yeah, it's my name. It was my name first,
Yeah,
you know?
right. Right. But that's when you get like, like that's when you like actually like become friends with Timothy Chalamet and he keeps calling you Elio. And one day he finds out that my name is actually Charlotte, and it's just then you
Friendship.
get caught up in a hole.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
you
this is
really
really anxious thinking we've got going on here.
you really started spiraling as a team. He will get so upset. um
And that's when you ruin a potential love of your life, and then you're gonna end up alone.
do your friends call you Elio or is it just an artist project name?
I also kind of like the degree of separation that like having a separate name to your personal life kind of
Yeah.
brings.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I was watching an interview with Ariana Grande the other day, and she was talking about how like it's really nice that like she can go home and like her hair, like the long ponytail and stuff like that she has like isn't her real hair. Obviously her hair is like short and curly and stuff, and she was saying it's literally like a uniform. Like I can go home and I can like take my hair out, and that is just like that's my job, and I come home and I get to like not deal with that. So I think yeah, I kind of like having it a little bit separate, and um kind of it's like a character, but it's also not because all my music is so personal anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's but yeah, the the facade is kind of nice.
Yeah, it'll definitely also be more of a facade like when you're on stage.
Totally.
You know, when you develop like a stage style and it's like that's Elio and then you are a different person later, you know.
Totally.
Um
I think it's also like really interesting. Like Halsey is obviously her real name is Ashley, and I think like she really does an amazing job of playing like the two characters almost.
yeah.
And like it really is like sometimes it can feel like two different people. So yeah. No, I think I like it.
Yeah, no, I love it too. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, no, I think you've got my whole life story there. So
Okay. All right. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you so
yeah, it was really good.